On Tuesday, President Donald J. Trump fired James Comey, depicting the former FBI director as a grandstander more interested in his personal ambitions than leading the nation's foremost intelligence agency. Trump said that both Democrats and Republicans had lost confidence in Comey's controversial and often waffling decision-making process. Although those are indisputable facts, our Washington source, a former intelligence officer and licensed private investigator, says that Comey was ultimately fired for an entirely different reason. He refused to cease and desist criminal investigations against Nibiru believers. On March 27, we documented an FBI sting operation targeting Nibiru believers across the country. Apparently, without Trump's knowledge, the Bureau initiated a cyber war against Nibiru researchers, broadcasters, and whistleblowers, using the Patriot Act to justify its actions. The FBI violated federal wiretapping laws by clandestinely hacking cell phones and personal computers without securing a warrant. Agents also infiltrated Nibiru websites, Facebook groups, and discussion forums, collecting names and seeding conversations with blatantly false information on Nibiru. On Monday, our source said, Trump summoned Comey to a private meeting, demanding he immediately cease unauthorized surveillance activity targeting truthers, including Nibiru believers, or face the consequences of his actions. The FBI's private little war against Nibiru truth has been ongoing for a long time, our source said. Long before Trump became president, Obama, allegedly, had instructed Comey to pursue people involved in spreading information about Nibiru. This is not the first time Trump confronted him on the issue. Only 7 days after taking office, President Trump invited Comey to a private dinner, where he warned Comey not to misuse his power for personal vendettas. But Comey, it seems, ignored Trump's admonition. He went so far as to double the number agents tasked with ferreting out Nibiru truthers. When Trump learned of this, our source said, he nearly exploded in anger and insisted Comey comply or seek other employment opportunities. Our source said the following, during that second meeting, Comey was belligerent. He said he had control of the Justice Department and not Trump. The president was merciful, he gave Comey one final chance to be obedient or be gone. The next day, Trump fired him. Mainstream media reports that Comey was shocked, and even initially believed his firing was a prank, have been grossly exaggerated. Comey, our source said, saw the writing wall and knew he would be fired for disobeying a direct order from the president. Comey refused to acknowledge Trump's authority, and that cost him a job. From what I heard, Comey told Trump he didn't even believe Trump should be president, and that his loyalty remained with the one true president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama. That statement, alone, probably compelled Trump to take action, our source explained. Moreover, elements in the FBI and other intelligence agencies remain fiercely loyal to Obama, our source asserts. If true, and if Trump is serious about purging Obama loyalists from the intelligence, the president has his work cut out for him. In the end, Comey's termination may have won Trump a battle, but a war still rages on. 8,152 total views, 292 views today. During his historic inaugural address to the American people, President Donald J. Trump hinted at Nibiru's reality, giving a slight but affirmative wink to millions of people who have eschewed mainstream science and embraced the Nibiru truths. While speaking about the future of American prosperity, President Trump slipped in the comment, "We will unlock the mysteries of space," a poignant remark that served as a rallying cry for Nibiru believers across the world. President Trump stopped short of full disclosure for obvious reasons. The eyes of the world were upon him. Our Washington source added his thoughts. It's obvious Trump is deeply worried about Nibiru, our source said. Since Obama burned the Nibiru dossiers, Trump knows he is facing an uphill battle. He said what he could. His comment about unlocking space mysteries was a direct reference to the Nibiru cover-up. He had to say something, he couldn't say nothing. Friends and enemies lurked all around. If he said nothing at all, Nibiru believers would have felt disenfranchised. If he said too much, his enemies would have sprung from the shadows. He struck the right balance. Across the country, Nibiru believers rejoiced. Reginald Klopscott, a former merchant marine who operates a Nibiru survival camp in Missouri, said Trump's remark was a wake-up call to all Nibiru debunkers. Recruitment, he says, skyrocketed following Trump's inaugural address. "You ain't gonna believe it," Klopscott said. "After Trump talked, we got 2 new members. We gettin' ready for that Nibiru. I read somewhere it's made of hardened tritium, so we are fortifying our bunkers. I know that President Trump will soon tell us everything." In Washington, President Trump had a hectic day. He was sworn in, attended a lengthy parade, joined his wife at 2 inaugural balls, and, late in the evening, took his first steps into the Oval Office. He got right to work, signing several executive orders. 2 gutted parts of Obamacare. Our White House source confirmed that President Trump signed at least 2 additional executive orders, one of which dealt with terminating the Nibiru cover-up. With a stroke of his pen, President Trump nullified 30 years of Nibiru secrecy. The executive order rescinded Ronald Reagan's Nibiru Secrecy Act of 1983, an obsolete regulation imposing stiff penalties, 50 years imprisonment and unspecified fines, on Nibiru whistleblowers. That order was controversial, our Washington source said. Reagan went overboard. After NASA's iris detected Nibiru in 1983, Reagan signed the executive order. It forbade any public servant, scientist, or person with true and accurate information about Nibiru from ever mentioning the word Nibiru. Reagan even had the word Nibiru removed from dictionaries. Check for yourself. You won't find the word Nibiru in any dictionary, anywhere. Our source was correct, neither Webster's nor the Oxford English Dictionary mentions the word Nibiru. Oval Office chatter suggests Trump is pacing himself. He does not want to steamroll into anything that might backfire and provide the opposition with ammunition to use against him. Regardless, Trump has stepped into a larger universe, and his day one actions clearly illustrate a steadfast resolve seldom seen in fledgling presidents. I have added an audio reading of the story and some commentary in the brief podcast linked below. 82,598 total views, 30 views today. Conspiracy Nibiru Planet ex-President Trump Comey fired over Nibiru conflict with Trump May 13, 2017. 0 comments. Government planting anti-Nibiru subliminal message. May 12, 2017. 1 comment. U.S. tests anti-Nibiru defense weapons. May 4, 2017. 20 comments.
I'm in Fiji right now, and that's the sunset. You see that? That's the sunset. Now, can you tell me why there's light over there? Is that a sun? You're telling me that we are having a reflection or some crap? No, man, that's the sun, and that's the sun. That's the sunset. Look at that. That's our original sun. Hey, man, look at this. Are you aware that we're in end times? Thumbs up. Look, we got 2 suns. That's the sun, and that's the sun. We got 2, man. People just don't believe, man. Y'all are gonna see Jesus quick. Look, there's a sun right there, and then there's a sun over here. This is crazy. This is crazy. What the heck is going on?
How do you people see the signs of God and then pretend like you don't see the signs of God? How do you see another universe or another planetary system coming into our system, and you sit there and you pretend like another planetary system is not coming into our system? I'm gonna pose a challenge to the fearful who always come to the video saying this is not real. Here's what God have to say, Revelations 21:8. But the fearful shall have their share in the lake of fire. The fearful, when you come in here because you in sin, you gay, you carnal, you contentious, you malicious, you disrespectful, you murderous, you habitually carnal, and then you come here fearfully saying that this don't exist. Here's a challenge for you, fearful lake of fire inhabitants. Produce this. You do it. You show me this. And then you close up in on it with your cameras. These are the signs of God. And God turns away. He turned away the wrongdoers from his signs. Even if you saw the signs, just like you do, you come here and you deny them. You deny what you see. That's not on me. That's not on nobody in the world except for yourself. And what is that sign? That sign is the return of God. And you know what that sign is. God said he was bringing a new heaven and a new earth. A new heaven. These are different planets. Oh, that's what we call it. But what does God say? A new heaven and a new earth is going to be brought. And this earth is going to be destroyed. This earth is going to be no more. Look it up. For the people who don't believe, I ain't even say I feel sorry for you, because I don't. It's like, how dumb can you be? Your government believe in a God. Your government definitely believe in evil. You don't. They imposing all these statutes and everything else that is going to bring down, hell upon your heads, and you don't understand their aim and what they're doing. Come on, So we have a lot of people coming to the videos, expressing their concerns about fear mongering. Show me that. Show me that. Show me fear mongering. Here's people looking at two suns in the sky, and they're all filming it. Some is filming it from one way to the next way. There's one over there. There's one over there, and people is filming it from both directions. And then here's the thing. Laugh now, weep later. Laugh now, weep later. Why are these people filming this? Because it's something that we never saw. And as a matter of fact, it's 3 suns. 3 planets. And it may be a sun and planets reflecting off of the sun. Who knows? You're going to let science tell you that it's space dust. You're going to let science tell you that it's an aurora. It's a reflection when you can clearly visibly see a sun in there. What type of reflections does this? And when did the earth start reflecting itself? Anything to soothe the sinner, huh? Anything to soothe you so you can keep on being gay. You can keep on murdering and killing. You can keep on selling drugs and getting money by illegal means. Anything to soothe you. Don't you know that they're patting you on the head, pacifying you, showing you these shows, putting you under the spell, letting you listen to all this weird, freaky music to soothe you until you burn in the fire? It's the whole devil's aim. Coming to you like a friend and a sincere advisor, a confidant, hey, enjoy yourself. The government is not your friend. They saying it's all right to be gay. They saying it's all right to be transgender. You know, they try to use sex change. The world has big power, and they sent out some items into space. Imagine how big this item would have to be to make the sun do that worldwide. Imagine how big this item would have to be that they sent to space, and how much efforts. They haven't even reached the moon yet. You know what you're looking at? The sun don't shine like a flashlight. These are the signs of God, you know, and most people drive right past this and ignore it. You ignoring the signs of God. And there is many more things. But, you know, who could tell you anything? The average person is hard to talk to you. You know why? Because if we ain't talking about your vanities, if we ain't talking about your exterior things, most people, you know, the believers, we're eternal, interior. We're with the Spirit of God. The disbelievers, you guys are exterior. What's your penis size? What's your breast size? What's your ass size? You know, how much money do you have? You know, do you look good? You know, exterior things, worthless things to invest in, because each thing is worthless. So you're going to go to God on the day of judgment and tell him how big your penis is? You know, and how well you did with the ladies fornicating and committing adultery, you know, doing shameful, abominable acts. You're going to go to God and tell him that? You know, does that matter? What matters when the earth is shaking? Somebody tell me what matters when the earth is shaking. Somebody tell me what matters when you're in severe pain. What matters when meteors are falling out of the sky? Please tell me what matters when you're seeing meteors fall. What matters when you're in 3 days of darkness? What matters if the government come and seize you and your family and put you in martial law camps, FEMA camps, you know, concentration camps, death camps? You know, look at the moon. The moon doesn't do this. It doesn't do this. Look at the moon. The moon's going to disappear right in the sky. The moon doesn't do this. And they say, oh, the government, they put reflectors up in space, and these reflectors, they cause, it's just fake. It's not real. These are optical illusions, and the moon's not real. Nothing's real to you fools. You know, the government have no such power. You guys are idiots. Here's moon and another moon in the sky. You know, what is it going to take for you guys to say, hey, these are the signs of God? This is not normal. You know, you watch the average news and you're going to say, hey, people are spotting because too many people have spotted it in the news. Now we have to report about it and give you our lies. See, there's a dot in the sky right there. The military says they were testing a new weapon and stuff like that, and they didn't really mean for people to see this, but of course they tested the new weapon right over the city, and testing the weapon right over the city. We saw this, and most people saw this. Don't be frightened. Before ever, and we living in those days, the fish is dropping dead. They're floating up. You know why? And I'll tell you why. Iron oxide, fools, and it's coming from that planet, and it is wormwood, whatever you want to call it, the Gentile destroyer. You know how many people have dreams about these two moons that's in the sky? You know, it was like the other day, a bald eagle just dropped dead out of the sky, for real, and that's no lie. That's a sign of America's fall to me. It was just right there on the road. It was a nice, beautiful bird that looked healthy as hell, dropped dead right out of the sky. You know, people are seeing birds drop dead out of the sky. Cows just fall over. 70,000 deer and antelope die at a time. You know, what is this? Somebody tell me this. You can't even explain these things no more. You're seeing these magnificent things that God is showing you. These are the signs of God. What are the signs of God? The signs of God are indicators, fool. Indicators. They don't have to be absolutes. The sinners always look for absolutes. These are indicators pointing to a certain thing. That is a sign. A sign can be an indicator, and a sign can be an absolute. Quit looking for the absolute. Just because you don't see it, it don't mean that it don't exist. Like I said, is it a worldwide conspiracy? Did we all come together just to put this frightened little old stupid you? Do we even know you? Do we even know you're going to be frightened? Or we put these videos together to make asses out of ourselves. That's what we did. And I'm going to tell you something. Other people say, don't curse, don't do this, because you have this kind of lamb image, and it's a false image. It's a false image. The English language itself is profanity to God. Turn the English language around backwards, and it is a blasphemy. Turn God around backwards. It's blasphemy. The English language itself is blasphemy. A yes I can backwards is thank you Satan. And if you turn a lot of music backwards, it is Satan worship. What does it say about the English language? It's purposely is a backwards language to hate and defy God. It is. And you think find me somewhere where it says don't use profanity because God don't approve of the word F, and he don't approve of the word ass, or he don't approve of the word. Quit putting words in God's mouth that ain't there. Who said he don't approve of any words? Is to use whatever it takes to turn your people back to the light out of the darkness. Whatever it takes to get the people to wake up. I'm sorry, but you can't talk to people normally today. People don't respect nice, and you know it. You can't be like, Heidi Helga, Christian. Hi, I'm here to tell you about Jesus Christ. Nobody want to hear that. It's almost like, F you, stand up. What are you doing with your stupid freaking life, you freaking moron? You got to really get in people's, you got to shake people. You got to wake them up. You ain't going to wake up somebody like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Oh, please, wake up. For God's sake, wake up. You're not. You got to scare the holy crap out of somebody to wake them up today. And then when the holy crap is scared out of them good and thorough, then they might get up and do something about their pathetic life. They overtaken life by demons. God said in Deuteronomy 28 that the demon becomes the head and you becomes the tail. It will lend to you and you will not lend to it. And all it's going to lend to you is evil. The whole world is legend. The whole world is Nephilim right now. You're not even talking to humans anymore. Everybody I meet, I consider you a Nephilim. And until it's like the Bible said, you discern that this spirit is from God. The spirit from God is going to speak God's words. The spirit of the Nephilim is going to speak about the world. What is the world? The outer things. The exterior. Does his teeth look nice? Is he muscular? Is he this? Is he that? Is he gay? Is he straight? That's what the world is. How much money does he make? Is he popular? Does he got a record deal? Is he on TV? Is he a doctor? Like, these things matter in the kingdom of God. Was Jesus a doctor? Was he? He went to a job every day? Or was his job preaching to the lost sheep of Israel to get them back on the straight path? No, that was his job, back on the straight path. And I ain't forgetting about what I just said. I said most people that you talk to are demons. When God said that in Deuteronomy 28 that the evil one inside of you was going to consume you and overtake you, it did. And it speaks. And you say, oh, this person changed. They used to be a good person. No, that person, the demon is speaking for that person. And the person is unaware that the demon is speaking and suggesting these evil things to you 24/7. Go be sexual. Go smoke some weed. Go do drugs. Go do this. And most people you talk to is you talking to demons. You rarely are talking to humans anymore. It is the time of Noah, and you are talking to straight up demons. The police are demons. Come on, psychotic. Look how they're killing people. The demon completely take over, and these ignorant fools that shoot, they don't care about human life. They're killing kids. They kill. Look at the people that's is killing, and you know they putting. Look up Heck, HEK 293. You know, look that up. They're putting human fetuses in the food at McDonald's and everything else. These people are demons and demonic. They putting blood in the water supply. You know, poisons all in your food. This is the society that you living in. You know, and this is what you get, because God said He's gonna make you eat your babies. He did, as a punishment, and you are eating your babies without even knowing it. Heck, 293. Look it up. What is it? It's a fetus additive that they use as a flavonoid in McDonald's to make the food taste better. Human being babies, you're killing babies to make your food taste better? You know, why the Jew is calling you goyim, and they're the ones who promoting that. They want you to eat your own babies. You know, and read the book about type it in Bible and eating of your own children. Type it in and you'll find it. And it's a curse on the people, and all these curses that come upon you, and you people are so used to curses that you made a way out of life out of curses and misery. You know, when you have to go to the doctor, when you in pain, when you got problems, when bad things has happened to you, it's because you damn curse. And good and damn curse. Because when you bless all these things that come upon you in Deuteronomy 28, all these blessings that come upon you and overtake you, and everything that your hands touch is going to be blessed. When you touch your marriage, you cursed it. It went downhill. When you touch the woman, you cursed her. It went downhill. The man, you cursed him. It went downhill. Your children ain't acting right. They curse. They cursing you out. You know, the police, the cursed cops is pulling you over and giving you $900 tickets. Come on, and you broke. They stealing from the poor. Come on, look at this wicked country. We reached the pinnacle. We're at the end, and you people are done. And as in the day of the Noah, you're gonna keep marrying, you're gonna keep partying, you're gonna keep doing drugs, you're gonna keep fornicating. Y'all gay, you know, a bunch of devils, you know, then took over. The Nephilim then took over. The jinn demon seed then took over. Yeah, the jinn demon seed. Either you the seed of God or you the seed of Satan. And that's the truth. It's two species here on earth. The seed of God and the seed of Satan. The seed of God had the spirit of God on them. The seed of Satan missed that. And so they won with the world. They won with Satan's plan and order. And most people are the seed of Satan. They are the Nephilim. They are the Nephilim. Really look it up and read and research. You know. Wrap the news. Tell me what y'all think. Peace.
Video shows what's really going on in Yellowstone. Over the past week, our planet has been hit by large earthquake after large earthquake. And according to Volcano Discovery, there are 38 volcanoes around the world that are erupting at the present time. We have seen a dramatic spike in global seismic activity that is unlike anything that we have seen in ages. And that is why what is going on at Yellowstone is so incredibly alarming. Geologists tell us that a full-blown eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano would have up to 2,000 times the power of Mount St. Helens volcano that erupted in 1980, and approximately two-thirds of the country would immediately become uninhabitable. Two-thirds of the U.S. As you'll see in the link I'll leave below for you for a 4-minute video, there are signs that something big is getting ready to happen at Yellowstone. If it does erupt, all of our lives will be permanently changed forever. In the video footage, you'll see that it's just a few hours of the time lapse of the geysers, a few geysers of Yellowstone, which are continually spouting gas and steam continuously. It's not just every 20 minutes that the Old Faithful, for example, gushes. It's continuously. It's as if the whole thing is a boiling cauldron underneath. Going back to the article, it says, I want to share with you some footage from Yellowstone that was recorded yesterday, Thursday night. In the video, it appears that it's a bright as day, even though it's in the middle of the night. You can see the whole host of geysers streaming violently, and Old Faithful just keeps going off over and over. It's stunning footage posted by a YouTube user known as Cat Martin 2016, and the following is what she has to say about the video. She says, there are places steaming that I have never seen steam before. And also note that the bright ground is back. There are no shadows, so it's not from above. As you know, the cameras were froze up last night, so we could not see what was going on, or so we thought, but I found a way. Somehow, don't ask me how, the geyser observation study site was able to capture the entire night with no freeze-ups and cutting in and out. How is that? Anyway, I got it and slowed it down so you can see it. Old Faithful had weird seismos last night and was going off constantly. But it wasn't just that one night. The weird activity at Yellowstone has continued, and you can watch even more recent footage that Cat Martin has posted. And what does this mean? I don't know. But watching that footage definitely got my attention. And it's interesting to know that just a few weeks ago, the Shoshone River changed color and started boiling without any warning whatsoever. The Shoshone River near Yellowstone National Park suddenly and without warning started boiling, changing color, and began to emit a sulfuric odor on March 25th. Nearby witnesses wondered if they were all going to die. The current consensus among geologists and other experts is that a portion of the Shoshone River began to boil, located near Cody, Wyoming, and a new Yellowstone vent has opened up. As Mysterious Universe reports, the boiling river near Yellowstone runs just east of Yellowstone National Park. It's close enough to the park and supervolcano to be a canary in a coal mine as it relates to unusual geothermal events. The event was initially recorded by Dewey Vanderhoff, a photographer who spotted the Shoshone River near Yellowstone boiling and noted that bizarre features in the river. Other bizarre features were there as well. When a river located above a supervolcano that could wipe out most of the country starts boiling, you would think that you would make headline news over the nation, but it didn't. Well, we wonder why. They don't want people to panic. That's why. It would be exceedingly difficult to overstate the potential danger that Yellowstone poses to the United States. Other than an extremely large asteroid or meteor, it's hard to imagine any natural disaster that would pose a greater threat. The following comes from an excellent article by Steve Elbert, and he says, the Yellowstone caldera, or cauldron, sits on top of North America's largest volcanic field. 400 miles under the Earth's surface is a magma hotspot that reaches up to just 30 miles below ground level before spreading out over an area of 300 miles across three states. Overall, this sits a volcano. While most scientists believe the probability of a major eruption is very small, there are signs that have some analysts worried, and most agree the volcano holds catastrophic potential. It could blast 240 cubic miles of ash. 240 cubic miles of ash, rocks, and lava into the atmosphere, rendering about 2/3 of the United States immediately uninhabitable, according to some estimates, and plunge the world into a nuclear winter. That certainly does not sound good. And as I mentioned above, volcanic activity all over the planet is rising. 38 volcanoes are erupting at the moment, and it seems like we hear about another new eruption almost every day now. Let us hope that Yellowstone does not erupt anytime soon. There are approximately 3,000 earthquakes in the area around Yellowstone every single year, so it's a very seismically active region. In the event of a full-scale eruption of Yellowstone, virtually the entire northwest United States will be completely destroyed. Basically, everything within a 100-mile radius would be immediately killed. Salt Lake City would literally be toasted, and almost everyone and everything in Denver, Colorado would be dead in short order. Further away, volcanic ash would rain down continuously for weeks. Those foolish enough to step outside would quickly discover that the ash turns into a substance similar to cement in the lungs, and many would die from suffocation. This is what happened in the eruption of the volcano of Pompeii, when people were found solidified as rock because of the substance that they breathed in. They turned into something like stone. The amount of volcanic ash released by Yellowstone would be almost unimaginable. In fact, it's been estimated that a full-blown eruption would dump a layer of volcanic ash that is at least 10 feet deep, up to 1,000 miles away. Volcanic ash at least 10 feet deep, up to 1,000 miles away. Food production in America would be almost totally wiped out, and the volcanic winter would result from a Yellowstone eruption would dramatically cool the planet everywhere. Some have projected that global temperatures would decline up to 20 degrees. In the end, the death, famine, and destruction that we would experience would be vastly greater than anything that we have ever seen in the history of Western civilization. So yes, there is a reason to be concerned that weird stuff is going on the Yellowstone right now. Let's just hope and pray that we do not see an eruption in 2016 or anytime soon. This is on the Daily Sheeple, April 20th by Michael Snyder, and I'll also leave a link below for you for the video.